I'm on it sometimes. They're good. That's what my wife watches. I got a story to tell you in a minute.
And every time they get a doctor on the news to talk to him, one of his statements is I'm having to do a bunch of extra stuff.
Defensive medicine.
Because I know that I've got a lawyer looking over my shoulder just in case I might make a mistake. What's the problem with is it because most politicians are lawyers?
No.
Is that the reason? I know you're not.
I'm a lawyer. Don't tell anybody.
But why?
Never sued a hospital or a doctor.
But why can't we get that passed? I believe that would cut our medical.
Let me answer it if I can. Defensive medicine, tort reform, is part of a real medical reform, not the stuff. That's what we ought to be dealing with. We ought to be dealing with tort reform. Doctors practice in this county and all over America defensive medicine. They run more tests than they should because they're worried about getting sued, for not doing something. When I was a kid, if I got knocked in the head fighting, and I did all that, and you did too, didn't you? My mother would bathe me off, and I didn't go to any doctor. She was my doctor, or the pharmacist was my doctor, unless something bad happened. Today, I'm sure, or my mother probably wouldn't, some of them, they run to the emergency room, and they run all these tests up, most expensive medicine in the world. I was a lawyer. I never sued a hospital or a doctor. Now, I do believe this. Doctors ought to police and get rid, just like lawyers, they ought to get rid of the bad ones. And there are a lot of bad ones, where there won't be so much malpractice. But they ought to police their own. But we ought to get rid of frivolous lawsuits. And a lot of them, are settled because they worry, and it runs up the cost of doing business. But they are bona fide meritorious cases that we should not, that people make horrible mistakes and kill children, people among them, but they're not. I don't know how many, but there ought to be a way to weed those out. There ought to be. Now the other thing, that would be one reason that we could do something to do real medical care. The other, small and medium-sized businesses ought to be able to pool or buy hospital insurance off an exchange, an individual. A huge one. There are impediments, there are laws and regulations against that. That's crazy. Because the economy of scale is important. My wife and I have got a few small businesses, and our family is involved in them. But hospital insurance, medical insurance is high. We know, because we cover a lot of our family and so forth, and my sons and all this, and our grandchildren. Well, if we had an exchange, it'd lower the price. It's just like if you can, I use Ace Hardware because that's a big co-op. And say I had a hardware, True Values, and I belong to that. It's a co-op, What do they do? Instead of me buying so many lawnmowers or so many hammers and nails and screws and so forth that you sell them, they buy carloads just like Walmart, and others, and it lowers the price. If we bundled ourselves together, we could lower the price of hospital insurance. We could educate people to stay out of those emergency rooms. We could help doctors not over-practice medicine they don't need to practice. And we could do this. And we should do this. Now, I call that real medical, reform, not changing the way things are done. The best medical care in the world. You said you had 3.
I'm not really sure about what I'm talking about, but like crossing state lines for
portability.
Yeah.
They call it portability.
What's going on there? I don't really understand.
Well, we could do that too. It makes sense. You buy a hospital insurance policy here, say in Chatham, Alabama, and if you're living in San Francisco, California, it might cost you more for the same coverage because you have an urban thing. But you can level that off, and if you want to take it with you, your cost, you ought to be able to do that. I thought you could, but sometimes they say you can't. But portability is what they call it. There are a lot of things we can break down that make sense without destroying the best medical care. care. You're talking about Fox, I gotta tell you that.
Yeah,
I've been on Fox a lot, and I want to tell you a little story about my wife. My wife was a professor at the University of Alabama for 10 years, and in Georgetown for 20. So she taught MBAs in management, and she's a pretty conservative woman. Several years back, I called her one time. She's retired now. She's an emeritus professor. Still got an office at Georgetown for life. I called her. She was in Tuscaloosa. I said, in the morning at 7:04, I'm going to be on the Today Show, for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And she said, good. I called her about noon the next day. I've told this story so much, it is kind of fun. I said, did you see me on the Today Show? I had a pretty good interview, I thought. She said, no, I was watching Fox and Friends. I don't know why. So if I'm on Fox Sundays or something like that, she'll watch that. If I'm on some other program on Sunday, she might not watch that. That's my own little wife. Go ahead.
Senator, you know this lawyer, Opelika, one of the top lawyers in the country. He told me that he
Who
gave...
is this now?
Huh?
Who?
In Opelika?
Who are you talking about?
Old,
What do you call his name? Jerry Beasley.
Jerry Beasley.
Jerry Beasley. Oh, he's from Montgomery.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Jerry well.
He told me point blank, he said, I gave old Bonner $1,000.
He did.
I said,
He's-
why? He said, get me a Democrat up there, I can sue anybody I want to sue.
He said that to you. I know Jerry well, but Jerry is finance chairman for Artur Davis for governor. So our politics are different, much. I didn't know that. But you don't need those kind of lawsuits. They don't help anybody, and they run the cost of your health care, and they run the cost of doing business, We need a judicial system. We need a system that dispenses justice. It favors no one, but dispenses things evenly. Is that fair?
Yeah.
No, we don't need that.
Senator
Anybody else?
Shelby, the stimulus plan that Governor Riley's talking about for education, do you think it's gonna pass?
You talking about the legislature? Oh, I have no idea.
No,
It's
I
been a
mean,
long
in the
time.
Senate.
Oh, in the U.S.
And
Senate?
you said, he was talking in the state union,
Oh.
through the charter schools and everything, he's looking for
I don't know.
222.
Let me tell you this, I'm not a fan of stimulus packages. I voted against that stimulus package last year. Now, I'll vote for some appropriation bill. I'm an appropriator that fund the government, fund the military. Oh, it's got some trash in it I don't agree with. I feel like that we shouldn't send a signal to our troops and to our law enforcement and people like that. But I'm not a fan of stimulus packages. I was asked earlier today, would I help on getting some money out of that stimulus package. I said, no, I can't help you there. I voted against that. So I don't think, and what that is, you're borrowing money to help the state. And sure, that helps the state's got a gap. It's not just our state, it'd be California and others. We shouldn't borrow money to help our state, who should balance their own budget, and so should we. Now, that might not be what you want to hear, but I'm being honest about it. I'm not going to support that. Now, will it pass? It might, because there's always something. But I shouldn't, and I know they'll have a gap in Montgomery, but we shouldn't balance that state budget. What's going to happen next? One of the people used to tell me, said when we go to Washington, said, Shelby, what we like is states' rights, no intervention by the federal, and federal aid. They didn't see any contradiction.
Oh.
It's a big contradiction. Okay.
I still got one question.
Yes, sir.
I just got my little newsletter just yesterday,
What's your newsletter? Tell me what that is.
Echoes.
What is it about?
Oh, okay.
See, I don't know everything.
Retiree account statement. It's about our COLA, well, they mentioned, about our COLA.
Are you a federal employee?
No, I'm retired Army.
Oh,